Hi, I am a new YouTuber. Today I will show you a new anime of harem, Immoral Guild. The main protagonist is a powerful hunter. Today he submits his resignation to Anom, the receptionist of the guild, because his friend is about to get married, but he has been busy with work and is still single. He intends to quit his job and fall in love with a girl. Anom reminds Mudon that he will not get a pension if he retires at such a young age, but Mudon is not worried at all. He has saved a fortune over the years. At this time, a new fighter, Kyan, comes to register. To detain Mudon, Anom deliberately sets them up in a team. Mudon agrees to it without hesitation because he wants to make sure Kyan is qualified to be his successor. As they barely start a talk, Kyan discovers the monster through her superb sense of smell. Their first battle begins. What they encounter is the slime, which is not so powerful. Kyan doesn't attack it at first, and soon the two slimes slide into Kyan's clothes, making her lose his fighting power instantly. The slimes hide in the sensitive part of Kyan. After getting Kyan's permission, Mudon decisively takes action and soon eliminates the cunning slime. After the battle, Kyan just gets herself dressed when she senses the smell of monsters. They once again head to hunt monsters. Mudon teaches her a lot of sneak attacks and trap digging tactics, but Kyan is too decent to accept those sneak means. Soon they usher in the second battle. When Mudon is ready to launch a sneak attack, the loud voice Kyan makes arouses the monster's alert. To make up for her mistake, Kyan blocks in front of Mudon, but just to get held tightly in the arms of the huge monster, which makes her so afraid that she can't help crying. At the critical moment, Mudon shoots an arrow to kill the monster. When they return to the guild to report on the day's results, Anom praises them for their good teamwork to detain Mudon, while Kyan is still apologizing for her mistake. At this time, Mudon reveals he is now worried that Kyan is too weak to deal with the monsters, which may give the monsters chances to invade. Anom hurriedly persuades Mudon to help strengthen Kyan for the sake of innocent civilians, and before Mudon can reject, Anom introduces him another cute teammate, a young white magician, Ange. Mudon is depressed and complains to Anom that as a single man, he can only envy his peers falling in love, which makes him determined to find his sweet love. Mudon then accepts Anom's proposal to allow Ange to join the team in order to find someone to take over his work of protecting civilians. He hopes either Kyan or Ange can become a good guard. After introducing some basic knowledge, Mudon takes the two newcomers to start hunting slimes. Unexpectedly, Kyan still takes a head-on attack this time, and she is defeated by slimes again. One slime locks Kyan's hands while the other attacks her from behind. Ange wants to offer help but is stopped by Mudon. In the end, it is Mudon who eliminates the slimes while Ange cures Kyan with healing magic. Just then, a giant slime at a higher level shows up. It gets around Kyan and grabs Ange. Mudon soon shoots an arrow to shatter the giant slime's arm. The slime senses the danger and flees immediately. After that, Mudon decides to stop the adventure for today and go back to the guild. Not long after, he encounters a big problem. Another guild senior decides to quit his job, which causes Mudon to almost break down. Anom can see Mudon's desire to fall in love, so she hurriedly announces the good news that there will be 2 more young girls joining Mudon's team. Mudon then keeps calculating how much combat benefits will the warrior and the black magician bring to the team. However, his fantasy soon gets shattered. The black magician, Dana, is a very decadent girl who just wants to earn money by doing nothing and doesn't want to work at all. Before the warrior joins, Mudon wants to test Dana's strength, thus taking her and Kyan to hunt monsters. When Kyan senses a monster through her excellent hearing as an orc, she rushes to the forefront alone. Kyan, the reckless girl, encounters the monster head-on and gets captured by the perverted monster once again. Mudon urges Dana to attack, but only to find this black magician falling on the ground with just a few steps forward. Mudon can only save Kyan first, repeatedly warning Kyan to leave her bravado behind. Under Mudon's accusation, Dana also feels some guilt and decides to help eliminate the monsters. The monsters they encounter are in the form of cute rabbits, to which Kyan gets attracted and lets down her guard. The monsters immediately launch continuous attacks on Kyan. At the same time, Dana is also punched in the face and becomes so furious. She continuously summons lightning attacks, which are all dodged by the monsters. Seeing Mudon won't help her, Dana can only cooperate with Kyan, but only to find she is no match for the monsters. At this time, some monsters target Dana, and under their siege, Dana also loses her power to resist. When Mudon is about to give a hand, Dana casts AoE, a wide-range attack, and then countless lightning falls from the sky. However, instead of eliminating monsters, Dana's attack splits her and Kyan's clothes. Not long after, the warrior, Nokins, who has been Dana's best friend since childhood, comes to register. Later, Mudon gets to know that Nokins' father turns out to be a very famous equipment manufacturer. He sees a team of servants coming to see Nokins off, realizing how powerful her family is. Soon, another battle begins. Mudun intends to take the charge in the battle so that Nokens can have time to get used to the team, but Kyan shows initiative to lead the team. Though agreeing with her, Mudun deliberately creates accidents to kill the monsters, leaving Kyan with no chance to fight against them. Kyan is upset about it because she doesn't want to be the weak who always needs protection. Suddenly, a boar monster rushes out. Nokens immediately knocks it down with a heavy punch. Meanwhile, Kyan also fulfills her role soon as she senses in advance that a large number of boars are rushing over. Mudun takes his companions to run downhill, revealing to Nokens that boar monsters are easy to fall when running downhill because of their longer hind legs. As Kyan still tries to cheer up to fight, she gets beaten up by the monsters the next second. Nokens decides to cast the legendary Frenzy skill to strengthen her power temporarily at a cost of losing her sanity. After Nokens' combat power gets strengthened, Mudun's team completes the mission of hunting monsters again. But this is not the end. Nokens' frenzy state has not been lifted. She takes off the breastplate to show a very charming figure. Mudun is very desperate, and he can only put off his plan of dating girls in college indefinitely. Otherwise, the hybrids of humans and monsters will be born. In recent battles, Mudun has been busy rescuing his companions, which consumes him more energy than killing monsters does. However, he wants to investigate the reason why monsters become so horny alone. Therefore, he gives them a day off to distract their attention. Kyan is happy about the vacation and arrives 1 hour earlier than the appointed time. She and Nokens are interested in each other's outfit. Kyan details the Orsish clothing, which arouses Nokens' interest. When they are about to go shopping for clothes, Dana shows up. Just then, schoolgirl Ange also comes over with 2 cadres of the student union, who come to spy on her. The girls' vacation trip begins here. They go to a dessert shop. As a precocious girl, Dana wants to know about others' love stories, but they talk for long only to find that they've never experienced passionate love. While the girls are relaxing and having fun, Mudun gets a copy of the information from Inome, which shows the number of recent deaths of the local guards. 17 of them are males and 9 are females. After knowing about the monsters' abnormal behavior, Inome worries that more people will be attacked by the monsters. They talk about it for a long time and meet an agreement to do another in-depth investigation. At dusk, the girls decide to go home. On her way back home, Kyan, as an orc girl with an excellent sense of smell, has sensed Mudun nearby but happens to crush him down when she rushes to greet him. At this point, Dana and the other 2 girls pass by, taking a photo of Mudun and Kyan's awkward posture. Despite Mudun's explanation, they deliberately joke about him being a perverted man. Afterwards, Inome temporarily entrusts the guild's work to a little girl, Eshun, and then she goes to the forest to investigate the abnormal monsters with Mudun and Kyan. Soon, they are attacked, as Kyan accidentally drops into the trap set by monsters. A snake-like monster with 2 heads emerges from the ground, and Kyan can't resist the attacks from all directions. Inome is so shocked to see this, though she has known about monsters' abnormalities. When Mudun is about to save Kyan, another monster wins round Inome. Luckily, Mudun saves her quickly with his sophisticated skills. Just when they are about to go back, they remember Kyan. Mudun immediately turns back to save the poor orc girl. Later, the annual physical checkup of the guild comes. After checking Mudun, the last one on the list, the doctor leaves while the nurse finds that she forgot to add the 4 newcome girls to the checkup list, who turns out to be Mudun's teammates. So she asks Mudun to pretend to be the doctor to deal with the 4 girls' physical checkups. To prevent Mudun from being recognized, the nurse puts a mask and bandages on him. When his 4 companions come, Mudun is so nervous that he is trembling with the urine test bag in hand. Next, it's time to measure the girl's vital statistics, and when Mudun hears Nokens' bust is 110, he gets shocked to stand up. But this is not the end. Mudun has to listen to each girl's heart and breathing, which means that he will not only see, but also touch certain hidden parts. Afraid of being killed by the family of Nokens, he hurriedly ends her auscultation. Next is the lazy girl Dana. To not show his flaws, he casually copes with her and calls the next one. When giving Ange an auscultation, Mudun chooses to listen from the back to avoid seeing and touching the sensitive parts. In the end, it's Kyan's turn. Mudun thinks he should have gotten used to watching her. However, when Kyan just shows a shy expression, Mudun has already felt like being out of control. Finally, Mudun finishes the checkups of the 4 girls. Just then, Kyan secretly reveals to Mudun that based on her excellent sense of smell as an orc, she has noticed it is Mudun who disguises himself as the doctor. After that, Mudun carries out special training for the girls in groups because their current combat strength can't deal with the abnormal monsters. Mudun first formulates training to increase the physical strength of Ange and Dana. Dana doesn't have good physical strength, being the last during running. She can't help falling to the ground and is unable to move after running for a while. Ange is much better. After all, she is still a student, so she can keep basic exercise at school. Mudden knows that the training now is related to the girl's safety in the future. Under his supervision, Ange and Dana complete the special training with great difficulty. Though Ange is so tired that she can't even stand steadily now, she still refuses to restore her strength with magic because she hopes to make herself stronger without the help of magic but by working hard. Mudden offers to carry her back but is rejected by her because she doesn't want any intimate physical contact. Dana is moved by Ange's efforts and offers to carry her home. Mudden is so happy to see the partners in the team can help each other. However, the next moment, Dana falls to the ground with Ange out of exhaustion. Seeing the two girls complaining to each other, Mudden thinks to himself that he can't count on them too much in the battles. An accident happens. After Nokens and Kyan finish their training, Nokens starts to drink water to replenish her energy. However, the water they brought is not enough for her. After giving the mana potions carried by him to Nokens, Mudden starts to comment on Kyan's problems in the training. Suddenly, Mudden notices the sign of frenzy on Nokens. Worrying that he can't help teasing Nokens again, he hides himself immediately. Mudden can only make Kyan deal with Nokens first while he calls Nokens' good friend Dana to ask about it. He then learns that Nokens has very poor magic resistance, and the magic potion she drank overloads her, so she loses her mind. Usually, Nokens concentrates the magic in her body into the brain when she is in a frenzy. After the mana is consumed, she will return to normal. However, today's situation is a bit different. Since Nokens drank too many magic potions, her mana won't be exhausted in a short time. Now she puts all her energy into Kyan. According to what Dana teaches him, Mudden pretends to be attacked by an enemy and his finger got injured. As expected, Nokens notices him and clumsily begins to heal his injuries. Everything is going well, but Nokens regains her senses ahead of time. When she sees the intimate position between herself and Mudden, she subconsciously attacks him. After the training, Mudden goes to fight the monsters with the four girls and finds the training quite a failure through the actual combat. The four girls do not cooperate at all and even drag down other partners because of their own problems. Dana accidentally knocks down the main force Nokens while Kyan is caught by monsters when she tries to save others, and Ange's cry attracts more monsters. Finally, Dana ends the battle with a wide range of magic attacks, which makes Dana think this battle is ended perfectly and ask for a celebration banquet. The girls all think Kyan's food with monsters is delicious, so Dana suggests that except for Kyan, the rest girls also make their food to see who is better at cooking. Mudden thinks their food won't be comparable since they've never cooked before, which angers Ange and Nokens so much that they decide to prove that even if they didn't cook before, they can win by talent. Later, Mudden sees Dana roasting meat with a welding mask on, and Ange pouring a whole bottle of soy sauce in. Besides, she adds a lot of salt to the pot. Mudden worries that he will die after he eats the food. In the end, Mudden goes to check Nokens, who is making minced meat. He thinks she is going to make hamburgers, but Nokens is going to add red beans to the minced meat to make steamed buns. When the food is served, the smell makes Kyan want to vomit. For his own safety, Mudden asks the girls to try their own food first. As a result, the food tastes so terrible that the girls' clothes burst directly. Later, when the girls chat, they ask Kyan what part of the monster is used in the food that makes the food so delicious. Kyan confesses that she uses the most private part of the monster as an ingredient, causing Ange to be so shy that she faints. Afterward, Mudden takes Kyan and Ange on a quest to collect a special kind of flowers. But when stimulated, the flowers emit pollen that makes people unable to speak, which will make the magicians like Ange unable to chant to cast magic. The flower has little effect on Mudden and Kyan, who fight with their fists. Mudden reassures Ange not to worry since they will go back directly after collecting flowers and won't take the initiative to fight the monster. At this moment, Kyan falls. She soon heals her wounds with her newly acquired skill. She feels pity that her newly acquired skill cannot heal others, but Ange says this is normal. Most people's skills can only heal themselves, and the reason why Ange can heal others with white magic is that white magicians borrow power from the holy bird Finazask that controls the power of regeneration. Soon, Ange encounters an accident again. She is targeted by a monster. When she is about to call for help, she inhales a large amount of pollen and loses the ability to speak. Kyan's keen sense of smell also fails under the influence of the fragrance of flowers, so she doesn't find that monsters appear near Ange at first. Ange struggles to wave for help, but Kyan mistakes that Ange is greeting her, so she also waves her hand in response. Poor Ange can no longer rely on Kyan. As she is about to find a way to save herself, the monster suddenly attacks. At this moment, Mudden finally arrives to save her. Kyan then realizes that Ange had an accident, feeling very guilty for not taking her responsibility for guarding. After that, she wants to cure Ange with her newly acquired skill. Shortly after, a miracle happens. Kyan successfully heals Ange. After that, Mudden goes back alone to report the task while the other partners go to the hospital for a checkup. Unexpectedly, someone causes trouble for Mudden again. Inom's daughter Eshun wants to match her mother Inom with Mudden. Inom gets nervous and quickly states that she and Mudden will not be together. At this moment, Inom squats down with a red face. She has a fever today, but she keeps hiding her expression in order not to worry her daughter. Eshun intends to take this opportunity to deepen their relationship, so she proposes that Mudden help Inom change her clothes, but Mudden quickly refuses. Eshun then helps her mother change the clothes, but she deliberately dresses Inom in a very transparent shirt. Besides, Eshun lies that the thermometer is missing and asks Mudden to help Inom take her temperature with his forehead. Before Mudden can reject her, Eshun runs away. Therefore, Mudden can only sit next to Inom. He then notices that Inom is so sweating that she's about to expose her body figure, so he has to stay to help Inom wipe her body. Meanwhile, Eshun and Rizumisu, the nurse who asked Mudden to pretend to be a doctor, arrive in the infirmary. Mudden learns from her that the actual doctor found that Rizumisu's report was fraudulent. After losing her job, Rizumisu joins the guild. Eshun lies she will show Rizumisu around in order to leave Mudden and Inom to stay together. Inom is worried about handing over the guild to the two children, and she intends to go out to help. However, she accidentally falls and crushes Mudden under her body, which is coincidentally seen by Eshun. Eshun is so happy, thinking that she manages to make them into a relationship. At this moment, in the forest, several adventurers of the guild are defeated by the spider monster, so they hurriedly go back to ask for help in the guild. The monster has mutated, and its size is 100 times larger than the original, with its perception and toxicity being greatly enhanced, so it can dodge normal attacks 100%. Now only Mudden can deal with the mutated spider. The two adventurers who escaped back look down upon him, even though they are asking Mudden to save their friend trapped in the forest. In this battle, Mudden divides the girls into two teams. Kayan, Anj and Nokens will go to the rescue. Before separating, Mudden asks Nokens never to use frenzy. After that, Mudden leaves with Dana to eliminate the spider monster. Dana has heard that the monster is so powerful that she thinks they can't win in any way. Mudden then explains why he chose Dana to team up with him. The spider monster can dodge attacks 100% because it can sense which part of it the opponent wants to attack. But Dana casts magic casually without a specific target every time, so that the monster cannot predict her attacks in advance. Mudden intends to ask Dana to trap the monster with flames while he will give it a fatal blow in close combat. Just then, the monster attacks them. To Mudden's surprise, the plan to trap the monster spider fails. Although Dana doesn't target the specific location of the monster detects her intention to trap it. What's worse, Mudden is poisoned while protecting Dana. Meanwhile in the guild, Inom and her daughter Eshun have a bad premonition and the buttons of their clothes break. At the same time, Kayan accidentally falls into the cobwebs woven by the spider monster, and Anj is also stuck to the cobwebs when trying to rescue her. Seeing this, the simple girl Nokens blushes. Later, Nokens rescues them, and they find the adventurer trapped in the forest. At this moment, Dana cries and asks Mudden to quickly wake up, otherwise she will publicize Mudden forced his female partners to drink alcohol and push them down. Though still injured and weak, Mudden tries his best to get up because he doesn't want to lose his reputation. Mudden tells Dana that he took the potion once he got poisoned, but the poison of the monster is so potent that his body is still paralyzed. But even so, Mudden still insists on killing the spider monster first. Along the way, he finds there are no monsters and guesses that they were scared away by the powerful spider monster. But in this way, both those escaped monsters and the spider monster will eventually enter the human territory for hunting. Dana builds a protective shield with ice magic and takes off her clothes, deciding to detoxify Mudden first. She tells Mudden that her full name means poison. In this world, there is a rumor that different names will give children corresponding abilities, so Dana has never been sick as she has been immune to toxins since she was a child. Then Dana will detoxify Mudden with her saliva. Unfortunately, the saliva does not heal Mudden's skin trauma, so Dana drips saliva into Mudden's mouth as an antidote, which makes Mudden's body immediately regain sensations. Dana then lifts the shield. After that, Mudden has come up with a new plan. He takes Dana to a shelter in the forest and transforms it into a giant trap. After rehearsing the battle plan countless times in his mind, he is confident that the spider monster will definitely die here. After that, he intends to lead the monster to the vicinity of the shelter and starts to run away fast. During then, Mudden discovers that as long as he does not fight the spider monster head-on, its ability to detect the opponent's thoughts would be greatly reduced, so he overdraws his physical strength to race with the monster. Meanwhile, Dana feels like peeing out of anxiety. Mudun arranged for her to ambush around here, and when the monster comes, she will launch a fatal blow to ensure the sufficiency of her mana. Dana drank a lot of mana potions. Just when she is worried about peeing on the pants, Mudun finally lures the spider monster back. The monster gets into the trap Mudun prepared ahead of time, and immediately after, Mudun launches his attacks on the spider monster. Dana doesn't disappoint Mudun either, unleashing an AoE spell that covers a large area of the forest with flames and eventually killing the spider monster. When Mudun falls to the ground weakly, he finds that Dana's clothes were burned in the explosion just now. This naughty girl deliberately rubs against Mudun, teasing him that she tried hard to hold urine. Hearing this, Mudun gets blushed. After this battle, Mudun finally ushers in a vacation because he is badly injured, and although the toxin was detoxified by Dana's saliva, the wound still takes a long time to heal. That's when Kyan takes the initiative to take care of Mudun. She is very good at cooking and provides Mudun with nutritious food. During the chat, Mudun tells Kyan that he gives all the credit to Dana because he wants to quit his job as soon as possible to find a girlfriend. Kyan's expression soon gets a little strange after listening to it. After that, Kyan takes Mudun out to shop, and Mudun finds that the way Kyan and the others get along is very wrong. The vendors always look at Kyan with lecherous eyes. When a vendor sells a bitter gourd to Kyan, he emphasizes that it can be used for other things besides eating, and keeps making some obscene hints. When these people see a man next to Kyan, they immediately become hostile to Mudun, as if the prey they have longed for is snatched away. In addition, Kyan helps grannies and chats with some ladies. Mudun feels that the orc girl has fully integrated into the human town. On their way home, Kyan meets two twin boys she knows, and they keep asking Kyan to play games with them. However, Mudun finds that the two boys are even more horny than those men. Though they claim to be young and innocent, their behavior is very dishonest. They take advantage of Kyan in various ways, causing Kyan to keep screaming under their teasing. At dusk, when the two boys go home for dinner, Kyan is finally free. At this moment, she reveals her real purpose for going out shopping today. Kyan wants Mudun to feel the meaning of this job is to protect the peace of the town to the greatest extent, and she hopes that Mudun will not quit. Mudun is touched by Kyan's words for a short while, but the next second he feels complicated because he seems to protect a bunch of lecherous adults and children. Soon after, as Mudun recovers from his injuries, he keeps going on to fight against monsters. He has a new face beside him, the adventurer Noma, who was rescued by Nokins, because each of his teammates is dragging him down. Mudun is worried the fairy girl Noma will also make things worse. But Noma soon shows her professional side. When her two companions left the town in shame because of the loss to the monster and Mudun, Noma, with a strong psychological quality, insists on staying with Mudun to learn combat skills. Noma and Kyan are attacked by monsters when they act together. Kyan once again becomes a monster's toy, while Noma uses ice magic to freeze the monster to solve the crisis. After Kyan is saved, she adores Noma. But Noma is in low self-esteem and has been emphasizing that her strength is weak as she always relies on her teammates to complete the final blow. Mudun tells Noma that only adventurers who are often caught as playthings by monsters are the weak ones. Noma was the unimportant one in her previous team and barely participated in battles, so she is happy to be approved by Mudun now. Mudun is also happy, as he has developed a crush on Noma, a fairy girl who is both powerful and modest. Mudun's eyes are full of tenderness when he looks at Noma, and he feels that he is finally about to fall in love after being single for so many years. However, Noma's following words put Mudun in despair. It turns out that Noma is an innocent boy who looks like a girl. Hearing this, Mudun feels much painful than being attacked by a monster. Not to mention he has to hide his feelings and pretend that nothing has happened. Fearing that his abnormality will be noticed, Mudun quickly stays away from Noma under the pretext of patrolling nearby. Mudun runs faster and faster until he falls to his knees, and at this moment, a scream comes from Kyan behind. The giant slime caught Noma and Kyan. Strangely enough, it is torturing Noma in various ways. But in the past, monsters would directly kill men when they caught them. Noma shows great adaptability in this dangerous moment. He and Mudun work together to eventually kill the giant slime. Noma is still very modest, giving all the credit to Mudun. But this time, Mudun does not allow Noma to keep feeling inferior, encouraging the cute-looking boy seriously. Noma is greatly inspired and decides to develop a different relationship with Mudun. Mudun thinks Noma is going to confess his love. Just when he is hesitating whether to accept boy's love, Noma suddenly calls Mudun master, which directly shatters all of Mudun's fantasies. Later, Mudun accompanies Inome and Rizumisu on a new mission, which is relatively simple. There is a gentle monster whose skull will keep growing from birth and eventually blocks its sight. Inome's mission is to help break the monster's skull, and to collect the broken skull to make medicine and equipment. Soon everyone gets into work. Inome and Mudon talk about the battle with the spider monster, where Mudon ventured to destroy the powerful enemy, and Inome is worried that he often forces himself to fight. Mudon is ashamed of this topic, since he was busy training the 4 teammates in the past days. He had not gone deep into the forest for a long time, thus he missed the opportunity to kill the spider monster before it grew. At this time, Rizumisu on the side accidentally gets injured and screams. The monster's hearing is acute. It will become very violent after being stimulated. Both Rizumisu and Inome are attacked by the monsters. What makes Rizumise angry is that the monsters ignore her and run to besiege Inome at first, because they prefer women with good figures. Mudon is furious since he also likes Inome. Seeing Inome being taken advantage of by the monsters, Mudon has the intention to kill. At this time, Rizumise comes up with an idea that she stuffs the mat into her clothes to fake a good figure, which sure enough attracts the monsters. Thus Inome is saved. But the funny thing is that when the mat accidentally falls out, the monsters leave Rizumisu alone and start to graze the next second. Just then, Ashun comes to her mom as it's the lunch break, but happens to see Mudon takes off his clothes to cover Inome as her clothes were damaged by the monsters. Such an ambiguous scene is immediately misunderstood by Ashun. After a short rest, Mudon throws himself back into eliminating the monsters. He has been running in with his partners for a long time, but their team combat ability is still very poor. Dana will be exhausted and unable to cast magic once she walks a long way, while Kayan will still be caught by monsters even if she stays at the end. Ange often fails to release magic because of the fear of monsters, and Nokens will lose control once she uses Frenzy. Noma is the relatively normal one, but his weak ability cannot help with the battle much. Mudon is very tired after the battle, and Noken senses that Mudon seems to be a little distant from her, so she privately reaches Inome to ask if she knows anything. Just then, Rizumisu shows up and interrupts their conversation. Rizumisu laments that Nokens and Inome are the sexiest women in the guild. Their good figures, especially the weapons in the front, have a super impact. Coincidentally, Kayan, whose body figure should be ranked 3rd in the guild, happens to pass by. Rizumisu faints because of her much inferior body shape. Kayan hurries to take Rizumisu to the infirmary. After that, Inome approaches Mudon to tell him about Noken's troubles. To dispel the misunderstanding, Mudon decides to talk to Nokens about the truth of her frenzy, but Noken's servants strongly disagree, worrying that Nokens will get angry if she knows the truth, so they run away to leave Mudon alone to face Nokens. Soon Mudon calls Nokens, inviting her to come over to have a talk. Nokens has always liked Mudon, so the invitation makes her nervous and expectant. She deliberately takes a long bath to wash herself cleaner. When Nokens arrives, Mudon smells a strong fragrance from her, but he is too simple to notice Nokens' affection. Mudon then takes out the video of Nokens in frenzy, while repeatedly asking her not to get angry. Once Mudon presses the play button, he ducks in the corner in case Nokens will beat him. Meanwhile, Nokens can't believe her eyes. She feels ashamed of what she confessed to Mudon in the video, so she immediately pounces over to cover Mudon's ears. As a result, Mudon is almost suffocated by the round weapons of Nokens. What's worse, Mudon accidentally destroys Nokens' clothes while he struggles. He thinks he's gonna be dead this time, but Nokens doesn't blame him, just borrows his clothes to wear instead. After dressing up, Nokens tells Mudon her story. Her father has always been very strict and dissatisfied with anyone, except for Mudon. Since then, Nokens has been longing for Mudon, and it may be this emotion that has led her to embrace Mudon when she was in frenzy. Just then, Noken's servants show up out of nowhere, gently comforting the young lady. Mudon ridicules these servants as scums, as they only dare to show up when Nokens is not angry. After the joke, Mudon promises to help Nokens overcome her loss of control when she uses frenzy. His encouragement makes Nokens happy, but the next moment Mudon messes up Nokens' good mood, because he mistakes Nokens' feelings for him are worships rather than love. Nokens' servants secretly lament that Mudon deserves to be single. Nokens is pissed off by Mudon's misunderstanding on her feelings, so under the pretext of practicing fighting, she beats Mudon hard. Mudon spends the following days helping Nokens overcome the side effects of frenzy, which degenerates her IQ into a child's. Her attacks are irregular, so Mudon is beaten to be severely injured. Fortunately, Inome finds a way to put Nokens to sleep by singing a lullaby. Looking at Nokens being asleep, Mudon and Inome are very worried. Every time the girl uses frenzy, she will lose her mind. If she encounters some lustful teammates in the future, she will be in danger. While chatting, Inome learns that Nokens admires Mudon, so she thinks of a way to control Nokens. Inome first wakes up Nokens and lies that Mudon likes quiet girls. Mudun also echoes Inome. Nokins now only has the intelligence level of a child, and she immediately acts like a quiet girl. Mudun thought Nokins is finally getting better, but an accident causes the situation to spiral out of control again. When Nokins sees Inome helping Mudun treat his wounds, her frenzy worsens again, breaking Inome's clothes in the end. Worrying that she would be hated by Mudun, Nokins hugs him and begs for forgiveness, while Inome is crushed at the bottom. Mudun almost suffocates as he is caught in the middle. Feeling painful but happy, Mudun enjoys it for several minutes before he stops Nokins with regret. At this moment, Eshun returns to the guild after school. When she learns that Inome, Nokins, and Mudun have gone out together, she immediately alerts up. Eshun has always wanted Mudun to marry Inome, but Nokins and Inome are the same type of women with good figures, and Eshun worries that Mudun will end up with Nokins, so she decides to secretly observe how the three get along. The next scene is quite funny, as Nokins' frenzy effect has not been completely lifted. She is lying on Inome's lap calling her mom. Seeing this, Eshun feels like both her mom and dad have been snatched away. Now Mudun no longer looks like a monster hunter but a nanny, because he has to deal with disputes among girls every day. Recently, the relationship between Ange and Dana has been very discordant, and the black magic church behind Dana and the white magic church to which Ange belongs have always been hostile to each other. Influenced by their respective beliefs, Dana and Ange have always had a somewhat sensitive relationship. Recently, Dana reveals to Ange who the real murderer in a mystery novel is, which makes Ange finally find an opportunity to get angry. The two pinch each other's face and refuse to let go. Fortunately, Mudun also has a normal person, Noma, who is often in charge of mediation. Ange has always followed Noma's words, which makes Mudun very puzzled. Both he and Noma are elder brothers for Ange, but she does not listen to him. Ange is shocked to hear Mudun's sarcasm, as she has always taken Noma as a girl because of his good look. At this time, Mudun senses a gathering of monsters in the distance, and he goes to reconnoiter alone. As Mudun has just left, an accident reappears, and that's the plot you are waiting for. The monster suddenly attacks Noma, and perhaps because of Noma's cute look, the monster even starts to tug at his clothes. It's Ange's first time seeing a boy's body, so she gets very shy. Dana tries to help, but accidentally hurts Noma. I believe you must have predicted the fate of the three. They all become the toys of the monster. Finally, Mudun rushes back in time to save them. Dana has just become safe, but she still doesn't forget to tease Noma that his body is more seductive than Mudun's. Just then, Ange notices Mudun's weird expression, and she mistakenly thinks that Dana and Mudun have already had an intimate relationship. Suddenly, she feels Mudun is very dirty. As our protagonists return to the guild after the mission, all the girls receive this month's salary from Inome. Inome is worried that the girls will be dissatisfied if they find the wages are uneven, so she patiently explains that the salary is set according to their professions and achievements. Although Kayan has been on the job for the longest time, she has the lowest record and therefore receives the fewest wages. In this regard, Kayan has no complaints. She thinks the payment means her work is confirmed. Immediately afterwards, the girls start to discuss how to use the money while Kayan notices that Mudun has fallen to the ground, exhausted. Hence, Kayan decides to repay Mudun with her salary. If it weren't for Mudun, she might have been wiped out by the monsters long ago. Kayan's words resonate with others, who all think that they have caused a lot of trouble for Mudun during the mission. They know Mudun will not take their money, so they decide to repay Mudun with practical actions. Dana learns that Mudun wants to quit his job to pursue the love he missed in adolescence, so she takes the girls to change into schoolgirl uniforms and breaks into Mudun's house in an attempt to help him create a feeling of falling in love with schoolgirls. As a result, they are mistaken for robbers and get beaten hard. The misunderstanding is cleared up in the end, but Mudun just expresses his gratitude to the girls and has to leave because he has made an appointment with someone else. Just then, Mudun receives a phone call. The person in the call hopes Mudun can bring Kayan to their appointed place. It turns out that Mudun has always wanted to understand why monsters are only interested in women, especially Kayan. Even during the holidays, Mudun still keeps studying monsters, which makes the girls admire him even more. Dana offers to cook delicious dishes with Nokins and Ange for Mudun when he is out with Kayan. Mudun recalls his previous experience and becomes uneasy, but he can't quench the girls' enthusiasm, letting them stay at home to make meals. Then, Mudun takes Kayan to a bookstore, the owner of which is the person he made an appointment with. The man is named Mill, a scholar who has been helping Mudun study the behavior of monsters. He discovered that not only humans have mana, but other creatures also do, and there are even creatures fed on mana. These creatures cannot directly absorb the seed from the outside world or convert them into mana, so they can only devour other creatures to gain mana, and such creatures are the monsters encountered by the protagonists. Monsters like Cayenne because she has a very special physique. Generally, humans are able to absorb Seether, but their absorption rate is not even 1%, while Cayenne can make it 100%. So Cayenne is completely the top food for monsters. As for the reason why monsters prefer to attack women, Mill just emphasizes that it will not affect Mudden's work and sends Mudden away. Although dissatisfied, Mudden still leaves with Cayenne. By the time they get home, Mudden's house is in shambles. Dana doesn't want to admit their failures, making excuses that they're playing the girls in Mudden's youth who couldn't cook. At this moment, Mudden knows that he can never let these girls go near the kitchen anymore. After a brief rest, Mudden and the girls resume their quest to eliminate the monsters. But history always repeats itself. So do the girls. They once again fall into the hands of monsters. It seems that Mudden's life is not only about dark cuisines, but also full of girls' cries for help. That's the end of this anime. I thought that this season would probably just focus on the story between Mudden and the girls, and the reason for the monsters being lustful would be revealed in the next season. Surprisingly, the screenwriter revealed a small part of this secret in the final episode. Now I look forward to the part Mill did not reveal to Mudden even more. I sincerely hope the next season will be released soon. Also, the anime of January 2023 has already released its trailers. If there is any anime you want to watch, just comment it below, and I will pick the most requested one to recap. Well, that's all for today's video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in my next video.